Good afternoon, DJ Mamu. How are you doing, sir? Yes, yes, yes. Definitely, definitely. Of course, let me say a pleasant good afternoon to the listeners of DJ Mamu Radio TT.com. Yours truly, Dr. Jason Batson, the Senior Medical Director at Batson and Associates, where we support your health naturally. Today, I have with me our senior blood microscopist and consultant, Mr. Rene Bastamante. Good afternoon, sir. How are you doing?
I am great. I'm always in a pleasure to be in the company of DJ Mamu and the audience, as well as yourself, Dr. Batson.
Nicely. Let me say a pleasant good afternoon to Miss Janice Hampton. Do keep in mind, listeners of DJ Mamu Radio TT.com, we are live. This is an interactive program. We value your questions, we value your comments. So, of course, don't be shy, don't be hesitant, take full advantage. You have two consultants today to help you. So, take full advantage of that, and we have an hour. It is now 20 minutes past 2. God's willing, we'll go until 20 minutes past 3. So, please take full advantage of the opportunity. Keep in mind, though, those of you who are located in Trinidad and Tobago, we are located on the first floor of Money Talks building in Montrose, Chaguanas. That telephone number is 222-8261. That's 222-8261. Debe is the corner of Ramsamood Trace and the SS Erin Main Road in Debe. That telephone number, of course, for Debe is 223-7515. That's 223-7515. St. James is Red Edge Mall, Western Main Road, St. James. That telephone number for St. James is 220-8113. That's 220-8113. Of course, Tobago is the Triangle Building in Scarborough, Tobago. That number for Tobago is 226-4553. Again, that's 226-4553. Keep in mind that we do deal with our international clients. So if you are overseas and you require some assistance, you can feel free to message us on 868-373-2388. Again, that's 1-868-373-2388. So today, of course, we're discussing health from a natural and integrated perspective. And we're discussing a number of issues. We'll go as the questions guide us. Of course, today we're going to touch a bit on diabetes, which we had spoken on some time back. We're going to touch on some hypertension. Men, we can't forget you. We're going to touch a bit on prostate and prostate health and the benefits of having a healthy prostate. How do you know you may be experiencing some problems with your prostate? Keep in mind, we are live on our social media platforms. We are Batson Associates Limited on Facebook. And of course, let me say a pleasant good afternoon to Miss Janice Hampton. She says, hello, Dr. Batson and team. We are Batson Associates TT on Instagram. On YouTube, it's Batson Associates Trinidad. And on TikTok, it's Batson and Associates. So, of course, keep in mind to like us, share us, add us, tag a friend. I don't know. I supposed to be saying that in a particular sequence, but I'll get the sequence for you all. But there's a way that they say it. But you all know exactly what it is I mean. Okay? So, Mr. Bastamante,
Yes.
you are a senior blood microscopist consultant at Batson. How long are you at Batson Associates now?
I would say approximately 3 years and a half, close to 4 years.
That time just fly fast, and I can remember the first time you started to work with us. So since you have been working with Batson Associates for almost 4 years as a blood microscopist, how would you encourage someone, which is a question I always ask you guys. Somebody who doesn't know anything about blood analysis, they don't know anything about Batson Associates. Right. How would you now encourage that person to come to Batson Associates?
All right, okay. So generally speaking, if the client or the patient has an ailment, let's say hypertension, they're suffering, they had a stroke recently, they have a lot of stress, whether the case may be high blood sugar, diabetes, whatever. whatever the case may be, what
Right.
what we want to take into
Mhm.
consideration is the fact that when they come to us, they fast 2 hours before, so we can actually go forward and do the blood analysis, because the blood analysis will show us the whole entire biological terrain. So levels of inflammation of that individual will be very, very important to look at. Additionally, we want to look at pathogens. As Dr. Batson rightfully said before, there are different types of pathogens. There are protozoa,
Mhm.
virus, bacteria, fungi, all these sort of things. So these are stuff we definitely want to look at in our client or patient's body. Blood per se. Afterwards, when we accumulate the findings of what we see in the blood, then the information will then be transferred to Dr. Batson or myself, where we will make our particular recommendations where we're going forward from there. So we'll put you on a particular protocol that will actually help your lifestyle and your overall health, to give you optimal health, in other words.
Definitely. So, just to reiterate that with blood analysis, it gives us an in-depth look of the blood. It gives us an in-depth look of how the body actually functions and how the body works, which is what you want. So it's a matter of now making that necessary adjustment and of course getting the benefits that you're looking at. Earlier, we did have some programs earlier today, and one of the questions, and a common question that we were getting, is issues associated with thyroid health. Now, we know hypothyroidism, which is low thyroid function, and then you have
Thyroid.
hyperthyroidism. One of the things we actually do at Batson Associates is, integrative endocrinology. Primarily, I mean, we do integrative everything. I tell people, because somebody asked me the other day, but Dr. Batson, what area is your area of specialization? And I tell people, listen to me. When you understand anatomy and physiology was the favorite part of my entire line of study. From the time I started to study, bachelor's, master's, PhD, the most intriguing part of that was always anatomy and physiology. For my bachelor's and for my master's, I had to do both aspects. And I remember one of those exams alone was like 600 questions, and we had like about 10. And it was actually multiple choice, one of them, or a few of them. And people think multiple choice is easy, but it was like multiple choice with the answers were like paragraph long. So they would have given you the first example, and then each answer, A, B, C, D, would have been about a paragraph long, and they were very close. So it wasn't as easy as it sounded, but it was a good experience, because the more I understood anatomy and physiology, is the more I was able to help people. And I tell people that once you're a good doctor is a doctor who understands anatomy and physiology. You must be able to understand the body parts and their connection and their connectivity or lack thereof. And a lot of people don't understand that, because your organs are what I call cross mapping, which we learn in integrative medicine and medicine on the whole. You have some sort of evidence with that. It actually gives us the opportunity to really work and help the body in a better situation. So, with that being said, we are able to help a number of people, whether whether you're dealing with diabetes, whether you're dealing with hypertension, whether you're dealing with thyroid health, whatever the case may be. It's just a matter of now understanding specifically what the root causes, and that is where the blood analysis comes in. That is where the magnetic resonance analysis scan comes in, because it gives us the opportunity to look at the body from the foundation aspect. And when you understand the foundation aspect of the body, you're actually now able to understand specifically as it relates to how we can correct your situation. So whether you are diabetic, whether you have hypertension, uh, you're welcome to any one of our integrative clinics. Whether you come to the integrative diabetes clinic, the integrative hypertensive clinic, it's a matter of now making those necessary corrections, and of course, giving you the results that you want. Let me say a pleasant good afternoon before I go over to Mr. Bustamante. Miss Janice Hampton, good afternoon to you. Miss Sharon Theodore, a pleasant good afternoon. She's back with us. She was actually on the program that we had a while ago. Kati Samaru, good afternoon to you. Miss Elizabeth Mary says, greeting to everyone listening, Dr. Batson and Associates, Mr. Bustamante and Shakil. Thank you for raising the importance of maintaining good health and serving the people. You're very welcome, my dear. Okay, keep in mind, of course, on our Instagram, we are live. We are Batson and Associates TT on Instagram. We have Miss Asha Ambitious, I believe, has joined us. We also have Miss Michelin Cyrus and Mel Leo Lover. Pleasant good afternoon to you guys. So keep in mind that the program is interactive. Those of you listening to djmamu.radio.tt.com, I'll allow DJ Mamu to give you a reminder of those telephone numbers of the WhatsApp in case you need to give us a call. Take advantage of the consultants that we have, myself and Mr. Bustamante, and ask your questions. So, DJ Mamu, sir. Boy, it looks like I have a lot of children all over the place. Yes, I need to be careful. I need to be careful. That's like I took somebody to Dr. Voodoo, and I had recommended my brother to go to Dr. Voodoo as well. As a chiropractor that I usually recommend to a lot of people. I think he's very, very good. And then I saw Dr. Voodoo's son day before yesterday because I carried my mother. And then he was telling me, hey, how you going? I didn't know Dion is your brother. So that's my brother named Dion. I said, yeah, it's Dion, brother. Same father, but different mother. So we look a little bit alike, but kind of, you understand? So you had to watch hard to see the resemblance. So anyway, he said, yeah, tell your brother that you come here with your son. I said, my son? He says, so he tell my brother, oh, he saw him and I came with my son. So my brother say, okay, Jason, apparently you have children that we don't know about. So, yes. Yes, sir. Yes. And it have a very bad fella going around, so I'll tell you what to do. Yeah, it have, yes. I'll tell you off here. Yeah, my song better off there. Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes. You don't need to call in. Well, that's no problem. Once it is the come and they get help, we happy about that. Mm-hmm.
So they listen to all your previous programs and the information. They'll come to you. So thank you very much for teaching my local radio stations that Jason performs. Sunday on YouTube, is it?
Yes, I'm on live, YouTube live, Facebook lives. We usually Sunday from 9:30 we on to 11:30. That's 2 hours. 2 hours. Yes.
Dr. Jason is comfortable living. He doesn't have to do this. But because God has bestowed upon this
Pushback. Mm-hmm.
6 years.
Mm-hmm. 10 actually. Yeah.
He's a recently he's bringing into the studio some of the young budding individuals in the company.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So when he has been going to aspects of naturalism, all these individuals in those areas where he
Mm-hmm.
and soon he'll be
Yes, sir. Definitely. 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 Yeah, he's smiling. Doctor, this morning he come and tell me that, you know. I say, well, I and DJ man, we don't have that conversation already. I talked to the assistant manager already. So Miss Eleanor. Miss Eleanor? Yes. Yes, she's a blessing. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. Of course, definitely. That's what I want. I want to you when you go, you know, you represent the company, you represent the brand. And I always respect people and people of that age too. People, I think one of the things that society lacks and one of the mistakes they make is that I think we retire people too quickly.
Correct.
I think we retire people when they at their best in some cases. You don't have to work every day. You don't have to work hard to the grind, but at least remain active, even if it's 2 days for the week. And I think that is actually going to go a long way in even making you live longer. Because even a lot of people, when they retire, because remember when you're going to work, you're a little rushing up, you're getting up early.
Correct.
You know, there is some urgency in your life. The thing is, when you retire, something you lie down there, you ain't get up, you feel, and you end up inactive. And then it's 2, 3, 4, 5 years after you realize you start to go down. You're declining in health because you're not as active and up and sharp and, you know, on the ball as you're accustomed. You know, the body has one particular, I always tell people there's one rule: use it or lose it.
Correct.
Anything. From the time you stop using your brain, you stop reading, you start to get senile, like you're forgetting, you know where you rest down money. When you start to forget where you put money, thing real bad. Especially if you're a woman. Because if you're a lady and you forget, especially if it's a woman, we know that is a thing going real bad because people don't forget where they put down money. But I'm just saying that, you know, and making a little joke with it, but it's a serious thing where we have a lot of persons now, as they aging, their brain function is not going as long as we want it to go.
Correct.
And that is why people like Miss Eleanor, who is quite advanced in age, by the way, but Miss Eleanor is sharp. Miss Eleanor is on the point, you know, she's always very bubbly and effervescent and that type of thing. And that is what you want, you know. So that's just for those of you there who. Mhm. Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah. Very thorough.
Mm-hmm.
she's writing down something, she check it back again. What you
Mm-hmm.
But it's very good for age. You see,
Mm-hmm.
she being the
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Correct.
Yes. Thank you so very much. Thank you so very much. So let me say again, a pleasant good afternoon to our entire team, especially Miss Eleanor and Mr. Green out in the in the St. James branch. Of course, let me also say a pleasant good afternoon to our other consultants, which Mr. Paul Green, we have Miss Karishma Ramdan, and Mr. Stefan Vialva, and of course the other hardworking team. Again, Miss Roma, as well as Miss Boudou.
Yes.
Miss Boudou, of course, our sincerest condolences. I didn't get the opportunity to call and speak to you personally because I know, she had a death in her family. So our sincerest condolences. And Batson and Associates, of course, would send out sympathy cards and that type of thing. I hope, God's strength be with you. And of course, the other members of the team, Miss Marshall, Miss Wren, Miss Hills, Miss Robinson, Miss Sunarine, Prabha.
Yeah.
Pleasant good afternoon to you guys, Mr. Wilson, as well. So, yes, Miss Prasad. Yes, oh gosh. You remember everybody. Good. Nice. So, Miss. She's Miss.
Miss.
As far as I'm aware, not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet. We recently put her on the market.
Yes.
we recently put her on the market. So in any case, I will let Miss Eleanor know that you asked.
Yes.
So keep in mind we are live on our social media platform. Sorry? Yes. That's something she would say.
Yeah,
that's something she would say. Let me say a pleasant good afternoon to our social media. Keep in mind, we are live on our Instagram. We are Batson and Associates TT. And honest, we have a question here. So let me see if I could. Miss Jackie Sami has joined us. Miss Gobin Baker, so has joined as well. Gobin Baker was actually saying good afternoon, and they needed a question answer. So the question is, hi, what will you advise for spinal problems like loss of cartilage? There's a product we carry at Batson Associates called Inflammation Formula.
Correct.
Now, let me tell you something about Inflammation Formula. Inflammation Formula is basically a product that is designed to deal with high levels of inflammation in the body. What does that mean? It means that with inflammatory response and inflammation in the body, you find that the inflammation formula's job is to reduce inflammatory response. Now, once you have inflammation, you going to be in some problems in the sense that one, you would have issue associated with pain, swelling, stiffness in the joints. Your fingers very stiff. You find your knees are very stiff. You find your back is very stiff. You get up. Sometimes you're walking, you're hearing like your knee followed by three other knees because you're hearing a cracking, a cruxing. You understand that type of thing. And that's what we're primarily speaking about because it is an indication of high levels of inflammatory response in the body. All right. Let me say a pleasant good afternoon again to Nicola Hood out there in Antigua. She says, blessings. Miss Cathy Samaru says, Dr. Batson, do you recommend glutathione supplements or you have a substitute? I'm actually a huge advocate of glutathione.
Correct.
Huge. One of the biggest advocates in this country and maybe by extension the world. So much so that we're actually going to do very soon some series on that. We're in the process of working on some things which will be coming in the very near future, and one of those is actually glutathione. I'm a huge advocate. If you understand what glutathione is, I actually have a book by a gentleman. His name is Dr. Gutman. He actually came to Trinidad. He was a guest speaker at a symposium I went to maybe about 10 years ago. And he asked a question in the audience, and I answered the question, and I got the book. So I actually have a signed book by Dr. One of the best authorities on glutathione in the world. And it is a big thing because glutathione is the master antioxidant. So it means that as the master antioxidant, glutathione has the ability to do a number of things in the body. One, it helps to synergize or allow other antioxidants to work. So vitamin C cannot work unless glutathione is present. And glutathione is actually produced in the liver, right? So it is a very important thing. The thing is, there are some brands that have it, But I'm very brand specific as regards to what I use. People who know me for years, they will know it's not anything that I sell. I am very specific. There's a particular type of glutathione that I use, a particular brand, that company. The person who was actually the lead doctor in that company was, he won the Nobel Prize at some point in time for his work um, in glutathione. He's deceased now. He's a German doctor. I can't remember off the top of my head, but very, very good individual. Okay. So that is something that you can always reach out to us, and we'll actually give you the recommendations. So you can always call the office and ask them. That telephone number for Shagonas is 2228261. That's 2228261.
The Debe branch, which will be having the symposium on the 28th of October, that is 223-7515. I repeat, the Debe branch, that is 223-7515. The St. James branch is 220-8113, and the Tobago branch is 226-4553.
Okay, great. Let me answer Coben Baker again. In terms of anything opening in the East, not as yet. Don't worry, as soon as we open our office in the East, all you will know. Let me say the symposium, the first one that we're having will be taking place on Saturday, the 28th of October. So the listeners at djmamuradiott.com, Saturday, 28th of October, all roads lead to Debe. We are going in the diabetic capital of Trinidad and Tobago, which is primarily split up, divided between Barrackport, Debe, Pinal, Southland. So to the diabetics, we are coming, and we are coming to help you. So if you want help, then take advantage of the help. Keep in mind that, the thing is, we have actually 2 symposiums. I'll get the time for you just now because we split it in 2. So we have the morning session and we also have an afternoon session. Okay, so that telephone number for Debe, and that's taking place on Saturday, the 28th of October. The telephone number for the Debe office is 223-7515. That's 223-7515. And of course, that is taking place on Saturday, the 28th of October at our Debe office. Keep in mind, you can call the number and get yourself registered. It is a symposium that you need to be registered for. We're going to be having a lecture. It's going to be very well organized. We're going to be doing different tests, cholesterol, blood sugar, so we're going to be setting you up in a good way. Of course, they're also going to have some discounts, some special there. We also have some promotions. So we are basically catering for the Southland, doing some work in those areas, especially in the next, coming out to the end of the year into next year, God's willing, especially. And of course, we'll also be having our health fair and symposium at the other offices. All right, Gobin Baker, so I hope you got that information. In addition to that as well, someone is asking about putting, right. Yes. It says, good day.
Yeah. Good day, Dr. Batson. I had asked about heel spur. I have a question pertaining putting my foot down in the morning time, if it's just the left heel.
Okay. But so once you have heel spur is an indication of excess acid. What happens when you have excess acidity in the body? The thyroid is the gland that is responsible for allowing calcium to leave your bones to go into your bloodstream.
Correct.
So if you have hyperthyroidism, you could actually end up with osteoporosis because the thyroid will be taking too much calcium and keep throwing it like that. And you could also end up with a medical condition, which I cannot remember the name of off the top of my head, but it is an indication or a complaint where you have excess calcium in the blood. I forget, it's hypocalcemia or something like that, right? So with thyroid problems, you find that a lot of issues people have with their thyroid. They have a lot of thyroid nodules. Ladies, especially with problems with PMS, you have a situation where your thyroid is giving you a number of problems. You're having, the doctors might tell you they might want to do a biopsy. I always tell people to be very careful with biopsies. Not every biopsy should be done because biopsies actually open you up to a number of things. One is infection, primarily infection. So I don't really believe and would recommend prostate biopsies. I don't like them at all. I do not like thyroid biopsies either. Most biopsies I don't like. And the reason, and I'm not the only medical professional anywhere in the world that disagrees with that, because when you go and you go in there, you interfere with tissue and you don't know what you're interfering with. Now, the argument is that they do the biopsy to determine if you have cancer or not. But there are other things that you can do. You can do a CT scan. And the thing is, once cancer is present, worse yet, you don't want to cut. Why would you want to cut somebody who has cancer? You know, cancer is what is known as a constitutional disease. And in medicine, what that means, it means that once you have cancer in the body, it might masticize or be concentrated in one area. Correct. So it might be in the breast, it might be in the prostate, it might be in the pancreas. But that doesn't mean that you don't have cancer anywhere else. So what you're going to do, if you have cancer in your eye, you will take out your eye. You have in your nose, you take out your nose. So when you finish, you'll know you. So it's a matter of now changing the environment that makes cancer flourish. And that's what a lot of people don't understand. With sickness could only exist in a body that is conducive to producing sickness. Mosquito. We know Ministry of Health is tell you when it's rainy season, don't have any empty containers. If you have plant pots, wherever, cover down the plant pot, because you don't want to produce what? Stagnant water. Stagnant water breeds what? Mosquitoes. So if you breed in mosquitoes and you go and you buy flit, you buy spray, you buy Ministry of Health come and spray, you're still breeding mosquito. What you'll have, not mosquito next week, because eventually new mosquitoes will come. So the thing is, once the stagnant water is there, the stagnant water is creating an environment that is now conducive for the breeding of mosquitoes. So you have to remove what? The mosquito or the stagnant water? The stagnant water, right? Which comes first, the chicken or the egg? All right. So it's a you want that chicken? Okay, go ahead, chicken. Yes. Right. Right. Correct. They don't ever go into dirty waters. But the point I'm making is that you are creating the environment to breed the mosquitoes. So take it now to sickness. Take it now to cancer, prostate cancer, lung cancer, breast cancer, pancreatic cancer, colorectal cancer, colon cancer. If the environment, so if the mosquito is there or the stagnant water is there, we'll get the mosquitoes. If we remove the stagnant water, we no longer have mosquitoes. So if we remove the environment that is conducive for cancer, then we do not have cancer. And that's what people don't understand. How do you fix that? And nobody who gets cancer, you bring any cancer patient for me, any one of them, I guarantee you, every last one of them, their immune system is compromised, and by extension, their gastrointestinal system is compromised. Cancer is an immune system deficiency disease. Correct. If your immune system functions well, it has the ability and the arsenal to determine an anomaly or an unnatural cell, which a cancer cell is, and the immune system's job is to end the life of that cell. Correct. If it doesn't end the life of the cell and the cell continues to do what? Multiply, then you end up in a situation where you have cancer. So you're going to have a tumor, and that's how people get tumors. So it's not a matter, because if you get a tumor, okay, so you have a breast tumor, so you cut off your right breast. You get one in the left, you cut off your left breast. You get one in your lungs, so you're going to cut off your lungs too? No. So you will keep cutting. When you've done it, I know none of you again. So the issue is not the organ. The issue is the body, the foundation. You have to fix that foundation. Think about it. Common sense, mate. That's an easy rationale there. You have a question, DJ Mamu? Of course. Correct. Exactly. Well said. It will die. It will die. And there comes in, and that is why, as an advocate of natural and integrated medicine and a practitioner of integrative medicine, primarily nutritional and clinical medicine, one of the things that you always learn, because people come to me and tell me the doctor tell them they can eat anything they want. So, but yeah, that deserves a cough. Yeah, because how you could tell people with cancer they could eat anything they want? That's madness. That's crazy, crazy. That's insanity. The highest. Albert Einstein said it best. The only people who do the same thing over and over, expecting a different result, is mad people. I watch my and Einstein would get along very good because he didn't even have to say that for me to tell people that. Because if you're doing the same thing, you're doing the exact same thing, you do not exercise, you eat late at night, you don't monitor your blood pressure, you're drinking a set of soft drink, you're drinking a set of coffee, you have sugars in your diet, you're not watching certain things, what's going to happen to you? So when you get a heart attack now, who's surprised they get a heart attack? You surprised? Why are you surprised? How you could be surprised you get a heart attack when you were doing things that would have carried you or give you the result of a heart attack? You see, the thing is, your body speaks to you, you know. There are rules to the human body, and this is what people don't understand. Let me tell you something quickly. I'll allow Mr. Bastamanti to say something in a little bit, right? One of the things, I was speaking to someone yesterday in the clinic, and this particular, wasn't yesterday, it was a while back, and this particular person has a problem with the kidney. So the person ended up on dialysis over a period of time. What is dialysis? Dialysis is when your kidneys do not function properly and you have to actually you have two types of dialysis. You have renal dialysis and hemodialysis, right? The thing is, the dialysis takes clean it basically, takes out all your blood, listen, send it in a machine, clean it, and then give you it back. Here's the piece of work you have to do there. Now, the ends justify the means to an extent because you want to live, right? Now, with me, I tell people I want to live, but I am always concerned about my quality of life.
Correct.
So if I have to live, and God forbid I'm in a wheelchair and I hang up and all kind of thing wrong, I tell you, you're playing talk bad manners, let me go and meet my maker. I ain't going through that, right? So the thing is, people want to live. Your family don't want to see you die. But the problem a lot of the times is that you suffer. And you suffer, and you suffer, and you suffer. And I personally find that's a hard thing to endure. So the point I'm making to you is you have to understand that your body has rules. Because this particular person I was talking about, when I saw what happened to them, I asked them blatantly, I said, but what you used to do? I said, you didn't used to drink water? He said, boy, no, I really didn't. I said, what you used to do? He told me he used to drink an energy drink, 2 every day. He said he also used to drink sodas every day. He used to drink juices. He used to eat a lot of meat, and he didn't used to drink water. And he also smoked cigarettes. So it is no surprise that that person no longer, their kidney not functioning properly. And let me tell you something. When you have kidney disease, do you know that you're limited to the amount of, well, I was dead sure because I is a water man. I drink at least nothing under 3 to 4 liters of water on a daily basis. So it means that when you are on a dialysis, do you know that you are only allowed to drink sometimes 8 ounces of water for the entire day and 8 ounces of fluid in total? You could imagine you could imagine how these people just feel. They stop urinating. Listen to me good. What you take it for granted. Because God willing, when you go and sleep, and I get up early in the morning, I go to the washroom and urinate. And after God, you urinate good, nice, strong urinating. Everybody here, neighbor, everybody here. First urine powerful. Proper flow. And that is because of the amount of water I drink it. So the thing is now, when you reach a point now, men, you could imagine you get up to go to urinate now and you cannot urinate. Mamu, you ever had a hot, we always big people here, you ever had a hot, well, we can't say pee, so we do the professional term. You ever had a hot urination on you? You ever feel like you want to urinate and it was a horrid thing? You need, watch me, water and flour. You gotta run out the car. As you reach over, you even park the car good. You run inside because you want to urinate. You could imagine going to urinate with that force and you cannot urinate. Picture that for a while. And this is what happened to men. Stoppage of water. And let me tell you something. As a man, when you have stoppage of water, you want relics. I tell you so. That's one time I'll advocate you getting some little tap in your head. Because you would have been playing the fool for something like that to happen to you. You don't get stoppage of water, just so. You know what it is. You go to urinate and your prostate so swollen that it resting on the bladder that the bladder cannot empty, you know. That's what's going on with you there, you know. It's exactly in some instances too, the urethra, which is that passage that leads to come out, the urethra is inflamed.
Correct.
So it means if the urethra is about 2 inches in diameter or 3 inches in diameter, your urethra now narrower, so it's now 1 inch in diameter. So where you think build up on the side, yeah, almost the equivalent of big stone. That material inside of there is hard material enough. So your pipeline basically block up. So when you go on to urinate, you could, watch me, listen to me. They have to put a catheter in you, and when they push that device inside of you, you know what coming out? Blood. Flesh. And that has to stay in you until you're able to urinate. Now listen, now mentally picture what your body has to go through for you to reach to that point. And that is why I speak the way that I speak. And I am the way that I am when coming to people's health. I do not play games with people. If it is you coming to us, you're coming on serious business. We ain't coming to play games because you're coming and spend your hard-earned money. And Batson and Associates have a reputation to maintain. We don't believe in failure. And the majority of clients that we have, 95% of our clients, we have a 95% satisfaction rate. I believe it's more. Yeah. I haven't checked it within recent time. There was a point in time we were 98% satisfactory. People came to us and they were fully satisfied with the service and the results that they want. We want to go up to 100. But here, what you have to understand, when you come in to deal with Batson and Associates, look, Mr. Bastamante, sit down here. We don't play games. Not at all. And if we catch them or catch us dropping the ball, let us know. I will make sure we fix that. But let it be said that we did our part, and then you in turn did your part, and we gave you the results that you want. I am not those other doctors who will and take you and go and think and give you injection and go and tell you to cut off your ear, because they will cut off your prostate. They will cut it off. Just recently, I had somebody who sat in my office and he told me, the doctor told him, the only way he can help him is to remove his prostate. And I had a serious problem with that because I don't understand how people went to school for years, and doctors are supposed to be people with a certain level of intelligence, because you cannot do medicine and be a dum-dum. Cannot or should not be able to. So you have to have some level of consistency, some level of compassion, a level of empathy, that the only thing you could watch an adult male to do is tell him to cut out his prostate. No, man. No. I'm in total disagreement with that. Total disagreement. But you all have to understand, men, that you cannot play the fool with your body. Your body has rules. If you do not drink water, Mr. Bastamante could tell you that. Yeah. As a staunch advocate and someone who has done anatomy and physiology with the degree that he has, he will tell you that 70% of the body is what? Is water.
Dr. Batson, I just want to bring up a point right here that I wanted to touch on.
Yes.
Regarding the types of showers men having, the type of showers men having these days. They're having a lot of warm showers. It have a lot of pathogens in the atmosphere, what we breathe in, especially in our intermediate system, our skin. And these warm showers actually help to pull in these toxins into our skin, changing the dynamics of our health, as compared to using cold showers in particular, which actually helps for circulation, helps the nerve, help the brain function and whatnot. What we come to see is that these days, men who having a lot of warm showers getting problems with the prostate and thing in the long run. Could you just give us some information on that, please?
Most certainly. When you're looking at, well, with the kind of heat we have now, showering is the, I mean, if the thing is, I am a warm water person. I prefer to bathe in warm, hottish water. I do not like cold water. And I believe cold water, warm water has a lot to do with the individual, because some people prefer hot, some people prefer cold. And externally, that is not necessarily a problem. What I suggest, though, that has a lot to and Nicole, I heard we'll check your question out in a little bit. But what it is that I would normally recommend is that you could actually regulate the temperature, so it's kind of in between
moderate,
right? But because of the amount of heat that we have, and the heat indexes, you all know somebody died from a heat stroke in Trinidad, right? I don't know if you all know that. I believe that it have more people who got heat strokes and didn't know they get heat strokes, because a lot of senior citizens do not drink water. And if it is you continue in that manner of nonsense, you are going to reap the rewards of your nonsense.
Correct.
You cannot not drink water. I don't care how the water tastes. You don't like how water tastes. Okay, good, no problem. That's like telling God, well, I don't believe in gravity and I go and jump off a building. You will hit the ground, you will splatter, you will die. Okay? Because gravity is a rule. Hydration is also a rule. Understand that clearly. It is a rule, and it is a rule. If it is flouted, you will pay the consequences. Men, some of you all paying that consequences now with prostate problem. Because if you do not drink water and you use all these sugars create inflammation, and it's going to cause a lot of problems with your prostate.
Correct.
We're going to give you the telephone numbers in a little bit there. Keep in mind, on the 28th, Saturday, the 28th of October, all roads lead to our Day office. That is our symposium and health lecture that we'll be having. We'll be having 2 sessions. There's a morning session and there's an afternoon, morning, midday, and then there's an afternoon session. Keep in mind that you need to be registered, so make sure and call and organize. If there's a small cost attached to it, and no big money, Batson Associates charging all here, but you're coming in proper place, it have certain things, so you have a small cost attached to it. Right? You're going to get opportunity to ask your questions. You're going to get, there are a number of things. Take full advantage. Only no Batson Associates don't come short. We don't reach short when we're doing certain things. Right? Top of the line all the way. All right? Miss Nicola Hurd says, so keep in mind, Saturday the 28th of October, that telephone number for Davey
is 223-7515. All roads lead to Davey. So remember the symposium on the 28th of October. The number for the Davey branch is 223-7515.
Yeah. This person say PD, which is peritoneal dialysis, is an illusion. I personally think so for kidney patients. I have a few opinions on dialysis. But you have to understand that your body, you see, the thing is, in medicine, when the physical body requires work, the physical body requires attention. The physical body has to get all the attention.
Correct.
Because the physical body, if it is not dealt with properly, it will kill you. You will die. So the doctors have no other choice but to try their best to keep you alive as long as possible. My question and my concern for me personally, because that's always a personal decision, you know, because that it means now, what is your quality of life? Could we help people on dialysis? We do. There are numerous dialysis patients that we have in our clinics. And as dialysis patients, they could tell you that they had better blood sugar readings after dealing with us. Their blood sugar read better. They had better energy. In some instances, some of them actually started back urinating, which I believe is a powerful thing.
Correct.
Because some of these people stopped urinating 3 years ago. And it's only when they came back to Batson Associates, they started to urinate. So that means that we're doing something to help these people. What I'm appealing to people to understand, do not play with your kidneys, especially if you are a hypertensive person. I will say it again. Do not play with your kidneys, especially if you are hypertensive. If you know you love alcohol, we live in a country where we celebrate everything, including death. There's drink when you're dead, you know. There's one country that you is the only person getting on out of the alcohol. When they have all these wakes and everything that we have. And custom is custom. But what I'm trying to help you to understand is that you need to use alcohol in moderation. Alcohol is not water. People don't understand how dangerous alcohol is to the human body, and especially its overconsumption, especially to your muscles. Do you know that alcohol breaks down your muscle? Like literally breaks it down, like mash your muscle up, like making your muscle literally like mush. Do you know that alcohol significantly interferes with your testosterone levels as a man? It interferes with your cholesterol levels. It interferes with your cardiovascular system. I'm not saying not to drink, but their moderation is a word that a lot of people do not know. And what happens to you is that you pay the consequences for your actions. There's a wise saying, whatever a man sows, he will reap. You can't plant sweet potato and go and reap those, right? That can happen. Can't plant guava and then you end up with dashing bush. It don't work so. So if you consistently ignore your body, do not take care of yourself, abuse yourself, you're going to pay the consequences. Don't come to Batson Associates and expect us in a month and 1 week to fix you. Dr. Batson doesn't work with the Smurfs. I do not work with the fairies. I do not work with Cinderella. and those type of people, they have no. You have to understand that. You have to understand that we're dealing with practical changes that needs to be implemented over a period of time to give you the results that you want. Let me say a pleasant good afternoon to Miss Kathleen Ishmael. She says, always a beautiful blessing. Our South client, the very beautiful Miss Pamela Moses. Good afternoon to you, my dear. Miss Nicola Hood asked this question. She said, you mentioned on a previous podcast that you don't use antiperspirant. What is the substitute and what do you use when working out and also for teenagers? Good question. There's actually a particular company that have a particular antiperspirant that I could recommend because it's all natural. The reason why I'm not really an antiperspirant person is that they have a lot of antiperspirants that have aluminum and a whole host of things in it that are not good for you. Correct. And I believe that blocking sweat is not a good idea. You see, if you're using deodorant, and there are healthy ways that you could actually bathe with baking soda, and that's a different thing. No, I mean, in terms of the look, nobody like under the arms to look sweaty. But I reach a stage in my life already. I tell people, if I want to, that's why I like white shirts. You don't really see it with a white shirt or a color shirt you're going to see. Okay. And if under my arm sweaty, well, under my arm sweaty. I'm sorry. I prefer to deal with that than actually stop it. Because once you stop sweat, remember, you are blocking your glands, and you're blocking your lymphatic system, your lymph nodes. And remember, your lymphatic system is the system that cleans your circulatory system. So you have to be very careful. Ladies, that's why a lot of women end up with breast cancer. So Nicola Hood, I could actually give you that information. We do carry the antiperspirant by us, and it's something that I could also get for you as well. But you need to be very careful with that. I could also give you some additional information where that is concerned. DJ Mamu, so it's, yes, sir. Yeah, you need to be very careful, very, very careful. Antiperspirant, because understand the word anti, which is against perspirant, which is against perspiring. Remember, perspiring or sweat is one of the ways in which your body removes. Exactly. So if you take something and plaster it under this part of your body and plaster it under here, and it blocks the pores under your arm, what's going to happen? Exactly. And especially if you do that, if you have 365 days in the year, if you do that every day, you're going to be in some problems, especially when you're under, yeah, exactly, you're going to be in some problems. So come on, let good sense dictate. Okay, so let's tell you. Yes, sorry, go ahead. Yes. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes, I like that. I know that person. They have some good tidbits, man. That person, they know what they're doing. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, man. I make sure a lot of gurus I take with. The good thing about it, very quickly, is that a lot of my training is steeped in Ayurvedic and Chinese medicine. And I tell people Ayurvedic doctors and the Oriental doctors are some of the best doctors in the world. If it is you read some of those, because one of the things when you look at Ayurveda, and you look at what the Vedas say, and you look at their whole aspect in terms of prana and how they look at energy and the way it's amazing science. It's an amazing, amazing, amazing science. Yeah. Yes, prana. Yeah. Sound like I know what I'm saying. Yeah, a lot of yeah. Very powerful. Yeah, very powerful medicine. Yeah, yes, of course. My great grandmother, Octavia Batson, she was half. Yeah, I have a little something in there. Yes, of course. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yes. Exactly so, exactly so. And you understand energy and the flow of energy through the body. People don't understand that you don't only have a physical body.
Correct.
Your energy body is one of your very important. The spiritual body is the most important body. And every one of us have a spiritual body, yeah? Regardless of your religious persuasion. People confuse religion and spirituality. They are two completely and separate things. Spirituality is an awareness of your spiritual being.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people don't understand that. You have a spiritual being, and all human beings have a spiritual being. Every last one of us. The thing is that it's called something called downward causation. So your spiritual body, your supramental or your subconscious mind, your conscious or your mental mind is your third body. So spiritual first, then supramental or subconscious, then conscious or mental, then energy body, and then your physical body is the last body. So when the Vedas talk about prana and your chakra, and then you have the Chinese now, which speak about your yin and your yang and your meridians and those type of things. That's a serious thing because there's something known as mapping, brain mapping. Every part of the human body is mapped to a different part. So the palm of your hand, for example, different parts here represent different things. Heart, cardiovascular system, lungs, kidney, different parts. There's something known as iridology, which I was fortunate to study. I don't practice it because of time. It's something I would plan to introduce later on, maybe in different clinics, where you actually look at the iris of the eye and you could actually, and that shows you scars. We could when you do iridology on a patient, I could tell you what year you was in an accident. I can tell you what year, if you have problems with sickness, if you have liver, every single thing, your iris. And that is why yeah, the eyes they sell you out too. Yeah, they're different. Once you train, there's also something known as auricular therapy, where they actually, so auricular has to do with the air. And there's actually particular manipulation that you could do to the air using something that resembles a right. So it would look like what's the best explanation? Okay, like it would look like a chopstick. And what they do is that they hold your air, and depending on the problems that you have, they would manipulate and add certain pressure on certain pressure points, and it would help things like headaches. That is actually when you look at this thing as well. Oh gosh, with the needles, acupuncture. When the acupuncture specialist is trained in pressure points. Pressure points again have to do with meridians. So you have different aspects of your chakras. So you have your crown chakra, then you have your eye, you have your throat chakra, nose, and you go down. So the thing is, once those chakras are out of balance, and your frequency, Elizabeth Mary talk about frequencies. Well, that was big. I was big on that. That's why I went to the university I went to, which was Quantum University, because that was the only university that offered a quantum experience. And if you understand quantum medicine, very quickly, Ms. Kapti Samaru is saying education. It's very educational because one of the greatest teachers in quantum medicine in the world is a man by the name of Amit Goswami. And he was actually one of my lecturers in school. He was my professor for my bachelor's and my master's. He's the foremost authority on frequencies in the world. He's one of the best. And when you understand frequency, you understand that in order to fix disease, you have to fix diseases from an energy level, but you also have to fix it from a cellular level. That's why bad mind, people don't understand. When you dislike and hate people, for whatever reason.
Correct.
That's why forgiveness is never for the aggressor.
It's for yourself.
It's for yourself. Always remember that. Forgiveness. And forgiveness is not forgetting,
Yeah.
People just confuse it. Nobody tell you how to forget, Now you ain't going to pick up that in your head every day. But forgiveness means that you have released the person. You're not keeping nobody in your mind and heart and no heaviness. I release you. I leave you there. You stay in your corner. You do you. You do you. I do me. And we leave it so.
Correct.
But hating people, disliking people, they did a study quickly because it's now 3:17. We're very close to finishing. Do you know one of the things that they realize with cancer patients is that a lot of cancer patients are very stressed individuals. There was a woman who went through a divorce. Only listen to this carefully, yeah? Divorce mentally, psychologically, and emotionally is one of the worst things you could go through in your life. Divorce is worse than death. Sometimes it's worse than if your mother died. It might sound like rubbish, but no.
It's true.
But when you go through that whole thing with divorce, they prove that some people, when they finish divorce, next diagnosis, you know what they get? Cancer. Because all that hate and abhorrence for your spouse, because remember, it's divorce, eh? Or they might have a share children, or they might have a share house, asset is fight, is court, is bacchanal. That is not a good thing. No, I'm not saying you have to go through it, you know. Nobody is saying no. But the spirit with which you go through that experience, if you're not a spiritually grounded person, you will die. You'll mash up yourself. And that is where spirituality comes in. Spirituality is not religion. And that is where you have to balance those bodies, because we call it downward causation. And the spiritual body, the supramental body, the mental body, the energy body, the physical body is the last body. And until you balance those bodies to the top, your physical body will never fix. And that's what people don't understand. So with that, and those are some of the things that you will learn at the health symposium. So let's see. So come to that health symposium and take full advantage of it. Miss Elizabeth Mary says, yes. Thank you. Miss Kathy Samaru says, very educational. So all roads lead on Saturday, the 28th of October, to our Debe office, which is located at the corner of Ramsamud Trace and the SS Erin Main Road in Debe. Keep in mind, we are live on our social media platforms. Those of you, if this is the first time that you heard Batson and Associates, I thank you very much for listening to us. I hope you would like us and share us, spread the word with a friend, because this country has a lot of sick people. And it is wait until they're very, very sick for us to help them. Now, we don't run away from a challenge. Nobody is saying no. But the earlier you allow us to deal with you, the better you are, especially with cancer. The problem with most cancer patients, and this is what I always say before I finish, excuse me, is that cancer patients, usually when you're diagnosed with cancer, what stage it is reach, Mabu? Most people, stage 4 and 5. Very rare a doctor going and yeah, most of the time you ever hear a doctor tell you have stage 1 cancer. If you go to a doctor and they tell you have stage 1 cancer, say thank God. They don't tell you that. Because usually cancer is advanced when they find out. So your objective is an ounce of prevention is better than a pound of cure. And that's where Batson and Associates comes in. Check out some of our star products. Santulan, our 7-channel detox, cleans and detoxify kidney, colon, bloodstream, liver, lymphatic system, skin, and your lungs. Nerve restore, you have a problem sleeping, you have a problem with anxiety, you have, hormonal imbalance challenges, check out that product. Inflammation formula.
You have problems with swollen ankles, you have swollen limbs, you have problems with osteoarthritis, rheumatoid arthritis, definitely check out the inflammation formula. Additionally, we have a very good brand of wheatgrass as well too that we carry. That wheatgrass is sensational.
Balance with the roots and the grass,
And
very
the grass
important.
itself, it helps significantly with your digestive problems. It helps with bowel movements. It helps with relieving toxins out of the body. You definitely want to check that out. We have a product known as the mineral formula, which cleans out pathogens out of the body wholesomely. You definitely want to get your hands on that product, that mineral formula. Very, very good.
Very good. So, as we always say at Batson and Associates, if you think health is expensive,
try sickness.
If you think education is expensive,
try ignorance.
So the listeners of DJ Mamu Radio TT.com, thank you very much for your time. DJ Mamu, sir, it's always a pleasure to be in your company. And of course, to the listeners of DJ Mamu Radio TT.com, do enjoy the rest of your afternoon. Keep in mind that health symposium, Saturday, the 28th of October, at our DB office. That telephone number 223-7515. And for our Shagona's office, that number is 222-8261. Do enjoy the rest of your afternoon. DJ Mamu, sir, always a pleasure till next week. Take care and God bless.
Speak about Okay, guys.
Yes, sir.
You will just